What are we going to do?
I don't know. We don't have an intro or anything. Welcome back. This is episode 7, and this is a podcast.
What do we have in store for the viewers today?
Well, we bought that package from GGSN, so we have one segment from GGSN again this week.
Okay.
Not only are they going to cover the expansion draft for us, and we're going to watch that coverage of the expansion draft for the Eastern Conference this week,
Sure.
they are also going to cover some of the big-name free agents that have been signed in the NBA.
Got it. How do you know that? Since it's live, we're watching it.
But then we're going to cover some, Marvel news. There's not as much as
There's some.
past,
There's always some.
There's always some. There's some NFL news out there that's been occurring, but other than that, we don't have too much this week compared to the past couple weeks.
A little fantasy football.
Yeah, we can cover some fantasy football as well.
How much we run.
Yeah,
we don't run at all.
We're 15 minutes late, so hopefully
we've been recording it. So.
Okay, yeah. So
DVR.
The expansion, the GGSN coverage of the expansion draft's been going on. We're gonna cut to that, and we're gonna watch the coverage of it live with you guys. Yeah. So, without further dudes, let's get into it.
I can't believe they called us.
Yeah, but we got money, so we gotta.
So bright in here.
We gotta do it again.
Welcome back. We didn't expect to be here today.
We're here.
After the ratings came back from the last week's show,
definitely didn't think we were getting called again.
No, but
here we are.
Our agent, they're working on a contract for us to be the guys now.
Where's the water?
So, that's why we're late.
But we're here.
We're here.
We're prepared.
The bucket. We're good.
I swallowed it. Anyway, so it's the East. Last week we did the West. We did the Western Conference expansion draft for the NBA.
So our agent is working on a deal.
Yep.
For both of us,
sure.
To stay with GGSN. I don't know if we can talk about this on air, but we are. And
yeah, we can. Yeah, we can.
Okay. Why do they give us 2 Post-it notes out?
That's about as professional as we get.
So, we're back. Didn't think we'd be back. That party last night was wild.
Yeah.
But we're here. So, we're a little late, but the silver hasn't came out yet. Silver hasn't come out yet. So we haven't kicked this thing off. So we can bring the protections for the players. Is that what the teams?
Yeah,
that's what they do.
Yeah. So each just like last week, each team in this conference can protect 3 players not on their year of the rookie deal. So like Cade Cunningham doesn't need to be protected. Bolmaro, players that are on their first year. Ben Simmons.
I got that reference.
But they don't need to be protected. But every team, even if they're on their rookie contract, if it isn't their first year, so three players on each team. Anybody not protected can be taken by the Kansas City team.
Yeah, which I don't think they have a name yet, so I think we're just going to call them the Kansas City basketball team.
The Kansas City basketball team. So Kansas City basketball team, just like the Seattle Supersonics, they get to pick 10 players. And then they just have to keep under 100 now with the new the cap. They have to keep under 119. Like we did 115.
It's also surprising that they would do that draft last week, and then at like free agency started, and then like some of the players that they drafted are were seeking out in free agency are now on different teams.
Mm-hmm.
So
and in the Western Conference, the Pelicans protected Lonzo Ball, and now they traded him. But we did say they protected him in potential to trade.
Right.
So
we were right.
We were right somewhere. The Western team's probably upset, but this is the way they decided to do it. He's silver, not gold.
Yeah, so you got to assume that.
So you can't assume a gold standard.
Let's start it off.
Let's start off with the number
I'll do
one
the honors.
seed.
So the Philadelphia 76ers. Mm-hmm. They're gonna protect Embiid, obviously.
Yeah.
Simmons was on his rookie year still, but they decided to protect him anyway.
Right.
And then surprisingly, number 3 they took.
Matisse Thybulle?
No. Shake Milton. Shake.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That is surprising. But, if they plan on moving Simmons, they might want Shake to be their starting point guard.
Especially if they get, 7 first-round picks like they think.
Yeah, definitely. Anyway, so yeah, Embiid, Simmons, and Shake. Milkshake sounds delicious, though.
That would be good right now.
I'll do the second team. The Nets did KD, Kyrie, and Harden. So let's go to the third team.
All right, the Bucks took Giannis, Middleton, and Drew. Let's go to the fourth team.
The Knicks. This one surprised me a little bit, just with the new players they took. Julius Randle. They've invested into him, so obviously,
Right.
R.J. Barrett was the one that surprised me. I wasn't sure if they would protect him, and they protected Emmanuel quickly. I noticed they didn't protect Kemba,
Which is weird because they just signed him. So they either think that the KCBT is not going to take him, or
that was quick.
I know, I just thought of that.
That was quick.
Yeah. Or they're just going to let it ride, and maybe they thought they made a mistake, and they're just going to hope for the best.
Yeah, I think that's. I'm going to go with those 3 are good enough. I think that's a good choice.
Yeah. Hawks, surprising team last year. How deep they made it into the playoffs. Trae Young, John Collins, and Clint Capella. Thoughts?
I think that's pretty clear. I think those are their 3 non-role players. Everybody else they would have protected has a role when those 3 are all around. Basically, if you had to pick 3 players to play 40 minutes, it's probably the 3 you're picking.
Got it.
South Beach. Protecting Jaime Butler. Bam! And they are protecting Kyle Lowry. So, bam.
They did different than what the Knicks did. They kept the player that they just signed.
Correct.
So
a lot of people probably expect a hero over Lowry, thinking that the KCBT wouldn't pick up Lowry with that. I took it from you. But that Lowry, maybe they wouldn't.
Hero sophomore slump too.
He had the only time he's done super well was in a weird situation of no fans, so maybe he's just not
nervous.
Yeah, maybe he got the nerves got to him. So last year was more like his rookie year. But yeah, I definitely see Kansas City taking him though.
Celtics, pretty easy.
Is it Celtics or Celtics? Because the music is Celtic.
You're a big fan of Celtic music.
I am not, but I have a family member who loves it.
I don't know. The Boston Celtics. They're going to take Jason Tatum. Okay. Brown.
Jalen Brown?
Yeah. And then RW3.
Robert. Nice.
So Jason Tatum, Jalen Brown, and Robert Williams III.
Surprised not to see Marcus Smart there. Being kind of like a leader on their team, but I guess they don't want to lose the young talent in Williams.
Yep.
The Washington basketball team, the Wizards, they protected Brad Pitt. Bradley Beal.
Dr. Dinwiddie, Doolittle.
Spencer Doolittle. And Rui Hachimura. I think that they might move on from the pieces they got, the new ones. So that makes sense.
Pacers. Sabonis. Karis LeVert. Miles Turner. A lot of trade talk around Miles Turner. I think there could be keeping that piece to potentially move on going forward.
I like those picks. I do think they'll move on from Turner, but I think they're protecting him to make sure they get better value back. The Hornets, they picked the...
I was just thinking about this. They've got the Brooklyn Nets, and then they've got the Charlotte Hornets.
They should be dressed in burlesque.
Mm-hmm. Lingerie, even.
Mm-hmm. LaMelo Ball.
Okay.
Scary Terry Rozier.
Mm-hmm.
And the person you said last week, Miles Bridges.
Yeah, I get confused. I'm surprised no Hayward on here.
I think he's too expensive for them to be worried that somebody will take him because he's not real. I mean, he's almost a max contract 6-man at this point.
I also surprised they didn't take PJ Washington. He's a kind of a young guy, solidified as a starter.
Who do you swap out?
I don't know. I'm not the Hornets.
Could be.
The Bulls. This one's pretty easy.
Balls.
Balls. Yeah. Another Ball brother.
Levine?
Yep. Zach Levine.
Okay.
Lonzo Ball, newly acquired.
Okay. LiAngelo.
Yep. And then Vucevic.
Interesting. So they must not think DeRozan is super valuable.
They just signed him. So, whatever.
The recent NBA champions, not the most recent, but recent NBA champions, the Canadian Raptors, protect Pascal Siakam, Fred Van Wilder, and Gary Trent Jr.
They didn't take OG.
I think you swap out Gary Trent Jr. for OG, but I think either way you lose one of them.
Yeah. The Cavs.
And they have Siakam for their big, so I guess they could lose OG.
The Cavs. Colin Sexton. Can I say that on here? Might bleep it out.
Whatever.
Jared Allen, who just signed a huge deal. He's the 5th highest paid center in the league.
Defensive end, right?
Yep. Jared Allen.
Cool.
And then Darius Garland.
All right. The Florida Magic, they are taking Jason Isaacs, I think is his name. The dude from The Fray.
Is that his name?
Isaac Slade. Yeah, they're protecting Jonathan Isaac Slade. Cole Mello Anthony, and Gary Harris. Newly acquired last year, Gary Harris.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought he was on the Nuggets last year.
I thought he was on the Nuggets. I thought the Nuggets would have had to protect him last week, but...
No. Pistons.
Last team in the
We got them all. We got them all, just like we did last week.
Just like we did last week. We didn't forget a single team last week.
Yeah. Yep. Houston, we have a problem.
I get that.
Yeah.
I get that.
Jeremy Grant, Sadiq Bey, and newly acquired Kelly Olynyk.
That's the protections. So, let's see who Commissioner Silver announces for the picks. Oh, here's Commissioner Silver on his way up now.
With the first pick of the 2021 expansion draft for the Eastern Conference, the Kansas City basketball team selects small forward Tobias Harris.
All right. First pick, Tobias Harris. That's an expensive first pick, similar to last week.
Yep. So, you're getting 29-year-old. Averages 20-something points per game.
On a good year.
On a good year. But you're also stealing him from a good team.
It's probably the smart play.
I think that's a lot of what they're going to be doing tonight is making the other teams weaker.
Yeah, with
That's more
the
important.
not deep Eastern Conference, really the best thing they can do is take the best players that they have and try to weaken the top seeds.
Yep. You all right, man?
I'm good.
Been there.
I don't know.
Been there.
Oh, yeah. Well, here's Silver moving quick again.
With the second selection of the expansion draft of 2021 of the Eastern Conference, the Kansas City basketball team selects point guard Marcus Smart.
Well, weakening the Celtics.
He's dancing up there.
Maybe he's excited for Marcus Smart to be taken second.
We just said with Boston, it was kind of they went with the younger talent when they probably should have gone with the dog. Just a dog.
Yeah. I mean, they could have taken from Celtics. They could have taken
Al Horford.
Yeah. See, if you're gonna take from the Celtics, you'll take Marcus Smart.
So.
Yeah. I think that's a straightforward defensive point guard. Doesn't have to start.
Yep.
Yeah. Solid. Commissioner Silver. Pick 3.
With their third selection of the 2021 expansion draft, the Kansas City basketball team selects shooting guard Tyler Hero.
Once again, making the teams weaker. Tyler Hero.
Oh yeah, we mentioned Hero earlier. Probably going to be taken. No surprise there. He'll probably start at shooting guard for them.
But going on a slump, there's only way up is up.
Really, the only way up Hero could go is up.
Yep. Yes.
Goodness. Well, here's Silver. He's peppy today.
He is. He's not going to wait back.
He never does.
He doesn't know us.
He never does. We can't even see him. This is a TV.
I don't know why they put us in the storage room. It could be on the floor with everyone else.
We belong here.
And with their fourth selection, the Kansas City basketball team selects forward Bobby Portis.
Wow. So, Bobby Portis, I think they took him mainly because he signed such a cheap deal. He recently said he's going to run that back.
He said that?
Yeah, he said, I'm going to run that back. That's what it said on when I was reading it. They had like a bunch of like symbols. So I just read that as I'll run that back. Well, it looks like he will not be running that back with the Bucks.
No, he won't.
He'll be
on the KCBT.
Now he's running the cheap deal for a young team, and he's going to have to play a different role. Kind of backfired for him. Kind of backfired.
You got to think about that. They knew
the expansion tree was coming.
Yeah. So
he turned down a lot of money for that.
Yeah.
All right, Adam, let's get going.
With their next selection, the Kansas City basketball team select center Andre Drummond.
Oh, I can smell the soft pretzel stand.
All right. Andre, 3,000.
Oh.
Yeah. So with the fifth pick, they take Andre 3,000 Drummond, which 3,000 is the amount of rebounds he's most likely going to have for this team.
Yep.
Just, super cheap deal. Weaken the Sixers, who now, Embiid, if he gets hurt, they don't really have a big.
Yeah.
You took Harris and Drummond. The Sixers are really going to probably fall off here, especially if they trade Simmons.
Yeah. They're just going to have Embiid. But if they get their 7 first-round picks and a young player, then
they'll have a bright process future.
Yep.
Anyway, do you think Adam Silver's going to come out again soon?
Well, he said he had to go to the bathroom, so this one might take a little while.
I could too, probably. Okay, no, I'm good. All right, Adam, let's hear this next one.
With their sixth selection, the Kansas City basketball team select forward PJ Washington.
Going 2 power forwards this close, I guess it doesn't really matter because no one else really has a say, but
Right.
PJ Washington.
Bold.
You know, Charlotte's up-and-coming team.
And you mentioned PJ as somebody that you thought they might protect.
Yeah.
Smart.
Yeah. No, he was already taken.
Clear that they should have.
Smart was already taken.
Right, yeah. Smart was another one.
Yep.
But, yeah, you mentioned PJ Washington.
Yeah.
Clearly they should have listened to you.
Yeah, Smart.
No. Well, on PJ.
Oh.
All right. Adam Silver announcing, looks like they're taking somebody from the Raptors. So let's see who they
Yeah,
take.
they put the graphic up before the card was even read. So.
Interesting. Taking somebody from the Raptors, though. That's a nice little tease.
With the next selection in the 2021 expansion draft, the Kansas City basketball team selects forward OG Anunoby.
The only thing I'm really in. Oh, nice. OG Anunoby.
Anunoby. He's a real OG.
Yeah. And now he's about to be, Tobias Harris or Anunoby or Portis or Washington, if you want to run small, you could probably start Anunoby.
Yeah, their team's looking good so far.
I like this team.
They need to get some more guards. Get some more guards. And then a backup center probably. So
Sure.
we'll see what happens going forward. He's already back out here. Look at.
Oh, okay.
With their next pick, Kansas City basketball team selects point guard Kobe White.
Well, he did that one quick.
Yeah,
He's
that one was
really
fast. He's got places to be.
He has a lot of energy, like the player that was just taken, Kobe White. That's
No, they've been trying to trade him.
Now they can't.
They can't. No.
Kobe
They
White
should have made a deal.
starting or Marcus Smart. Either way, if you want to go offensive, Kobe White's going to
Put
be.
them both out there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Too bad for the Bulls, but they don't really need him, do they?
No, they got one of your favorites,
Lonzo Ball
Lonzo Ball
and Zach LaVine.
and Zach LaVine.
All right, 2 more picks to go. Second to last pick here, semi-final pick, whatever.
That sounds good to me.
Semi-final pick.
Semifinal.
With their second to last selection in the 2021 NBA Eastern Conference expansion draft, the Kansas City basketball team selects shooting guard Cam Reddish.
Sharpshooter.
Yeah.
Sharpshooter. Or, underrated shooter because he was hurt last year. So people didn't get to really see him. But Cam Reddish.
Yeah, they want to move on from him too.
There you go. They're they're not only taking weakening teams, but they're kind of helping them out in a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like that Cam Reddish pick a lot. I think that's very smart.
You get
pickle. I like that pickle a lot. And
heard that before.
I've never heard that. Yeah, Cam Reddish, Cam Newton. He's like a really good 3-point shooter, and yeah, I think he's going to be a terrific 6-man or at least bench scorer.
Knicks graphic.
Ooh,
Kemba.
Derrick Rose.
Ooh.
Who's it going to be?
With their final selection, the Kansas City basketball team selects Mitchell Robinson.
No, I'm mad about that one.
You said they were going to fill their cap somehow.
Well, they took Robinson.
Like 1.8 mil.
Yeah.
Not fill. They must have someone. Their eyes on someone in free agency.
Well, they took Robinson from the Knicks, so. Pause here. Stop there. That was the expansion draft. I would say the East was better than the West.
The East is.
I think the
East is
East
going to beat the West.
I think that Eastern expansion team would definitely beat the Kansas City basketball team would definitely beat the Sonics.
I think it's weird that they get to do it later in free agency and then take the free agents that were signed, but that's just the way they wanted to do it.
Yeah, probably to help out the East because they have won the last 2 champions or 2 out of the last 3. Yeah, who knows? But anyway, that's what they're left with. $26 million. The Kansas City basketball team is so.
Sign someone.
They can sign somebody. They can sign. They have that 26 to sign 5 people, and yeah, we'll see what they decide to do. I think that was all we needed to say about them.
Yeah, we also got to cover some of the big name free agents.
Yeah, there's been a lot.
Everyone's gone to the Lakers.
Well, let's just go through those Lakers quick. Mac McClung, undrafted free agent, signed to the Lakers.
It's exciting. I like to hear those stories.
Yeah. They got Taylor Horton-Tucker back on a 3-year, $32 million. They got Carmelo Anthony, Malik Monk, Dwight Howard,
Trevor Ariza,
Kendrick Nunn. Yeah, so the Lakers got everyone.
Messi is gone with FC Barcelona.
He's probably going to sign with the Lakers.
He's probably going to join there too.
I think so. But yeah, I think that was all the big Lakers signings. Everybody wants to hear about the Lakers, so we had to tell them that. There was the biggest trade since the Antoine Walker trade.
Yeah, which was pretty remarkable because we had Antoine Walker for a little bit.
Yeah.
We as in
the Timberwolves that we own. Yeah.
Yeah.
So 5-team trade. Let's cover that. That was a big one. It was between the Wizards, Lakers, Nets, Spurs, and Pacers.
Okay.
The Lakers received Russell Westbrook, a 2024 second, and a 2028 second. The Nets received a 2024 second and a 2025 second, and an $11.5 million trade exception.
That's good. They need room to sign people.
They do need room. The Spurs got Chandler Hutchinson and a 2022 second. The Chandler Hutchinson was to help with Lonzo Ball, or DeMar DeRozan. I think it was to help DeMar DeRozan. Pacers the Wizards got Spencer Dinwiddie, Kyle Kuzma, KCP, Montrezl Harrell, Aaron Holiday, and Isaiah Todd, and the Pacers got Isaiah Jackson.
Yeah, you figured the Pacers would want to get a pick out of that somewhere. Second round pick.
They must think they're going to win it all this year.
Isaiah Jackson's the key piece they needed.
That's it. Sabonis to Jackson. You're going to see that 25 assists a game, 60 points a game easy from Jackson.
Got it.
Let's go over those big free agent signings that have happened. We're just going to cover the big ones. I don't think you guys want to hear us. We saw from the ratings last week you don't want to hear us much anyway, so we'll just hit the big ones. Spencer Dinwiddie signed with the Wizards for 3 years for $62 million. DeMar DeRozan signed with the Bulls, 3 years, $85 million. Good luck. Devontae Graham signed with the re-signed with the Pelicans, or just signed with the Pelicans.
He was a Hornet.
Oh, okay. So he re-signed with the Pelicans, or he signed with the Pelicans, 4 year, $47 million. We covered that one. Kyle Lowry, big name.
The Heat
signed with the Heat somehow, 3 years, $90 million.
He's still getting 30. Still getting $30 million a year.
That's pretty good for a guy his age.
33, something like that.
I mean, but wait till we get to Chris Paul. Jarrett Allen got 5 years, $100 million.
The fifth highest paid center.
Very deserved. In my opinion, everybody says AD and Rudy Gobert are the best defensive big men in the NBA. I think it's Jarrett Allen, just personally. Evan Fournier signed with the Knicks, 4 years, $78 million. Can't help but think his performance in the Olympics has helped him out a lot there.
He also, being traded to the Celtics, you saw that he could have been like a key benefactor.
Beneficiary?
No.
Benefiter.
Yeah. He could have helped that team. He's helping the Celtics. But then he just goes to the Knicks. So,
few people going to the Knicks. I think they'll make a splash. Duncan Robinson signed with the Heat, 5 years, $90 million.
That seems like a lot.
Well, now let me tell you about what Chris Paul got. He signed 4 years, $120 million.
He's playing until he's 41.
Yeah, and
that didn't work out for Nash.
No, it didn't, and it's not. It didn't work out for a lot of older players that got those. But
run that shback.
Run that shback, man. Best of luck to the Suns trying to build a team around that.
All right.
Jimmy Butler signed also a massive deal, 4 year, $184 million.
That's a lot.
Lonzo Ball signed with the Bulls. Awesome. I wanted Lonzo.
Well, especially when the agent this past summer told the Pelicans Lonzo's looking for a 4 year, $80 million deal, and the Pelicans told his agent he'll never get that money. Well, guess what?
He signed with the Bulls.
4 years, $85 million.
So they're right. He did not get that money. He got more.
Yeah. Good for Lonzo.
I'm so happy. Congratulations, Lonzo Ball. You're one of my favorite players. So, Mike Conley Jr. 3 years, $68 million.
We could have just made that a nice 69.
They could have. Or, since it's Mike Conley Jr., could have made it like a 60.
Yeah. Or 30.
Or 30. Maybe 1 year for 3. I'm sorry, but Mike Conley was great in the regular season and, didn't play played one game in the postseason.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
No, yeah. I would have signed him for a 1 year deal and made him play. But
I would have signed him for like a 1 year, 10 mil.
Yeah, if you're willing to give him $20 million a year, give him 1 year for 18. Something, make him prove it, but he still feels like he's worth something. Tim Hardaway Jr. re-signed with the Mavericks. We mentioned that in an earlier, actually, on the Glaziar Gambol podcast. They mentioned earlier this year that they would like to see.
You watch that?
I do every week.
I do too. I wait for it to drop on Saturdays, and I watch it with my dog Cuddles.
That's adorable. I would love to see that.
You've met Cuddles.
I know, but I would love to see the Cuddles on Saturdays.
You want to come over Saturday?
If we're doing what we did last night.
No.
So Tim Hardaway signed 4 years, $72 million. That's a lot of money, but I think it's worth it to try to keep that team. Still better than Porzingis. So.
Yeah. I wonder how he feels. His agent's like, well, Porzingis is getting 40, so.
There were a few players as well that signed in or out of their options. Kawhi signed up, did not do his player option.
Yeah, he's going to get paid something huge.
I think he'll stay with the Clippers.
Yeah, or go to the Timberwolves.
I'm thinking he'll go to the Timberwolves for the mid-level exception.
Yep.
Probably 5 years on the mid-level.
He'll also bring Paul George.
And he'll bring Paul George with him.
Yep.
Goran Dragic was opted in by the Heat, so they can afford that somehow.
They might be moving him for something.
That'd be smart.
He's, that kind of chunk of money.
And if they wait till the trade deadline, a contender. Apparently, six teams are already interested in Dragic. According, I think that was Woj. So, and then Ibaka opted in to his. So I think that'll encourage Kawhi to come back.
Yep.
Julius Randle, congratulations, 4 years, $117 million.
Most improved player.
Get that bank, dude. Danny Green. This isn't really a big name, but he's kind of earned it over his fame. 2 years, $20 million, and I think I would have done 1 year at his age, but if he wanted to, I guess you got to give him that. John Collins, 5 years, $125 million. You had to.
Yep.
You had to. Whether you think he's worth it or not, I think he's worth it.
Got to keep that young core in place.
And with multiple teams trying to get Collins before, you had to. Hassan Whiteside signed with the Utah Jazz. Do you think that maybe that's another sign that they're going to trade Gobert, considering
I'm not sure
Gobert doesn't get along with Mitchell?
They did pay a lot of money to Conley, so I figured if they would have kept that a little bit lower, brought in Whiteside for lower, they could have brought in maybe another big name free agent and then gotten rid of Gobert at that point. But I don't think Conley's the answer.
Okay. I don't think Whiteside's the answer either. Steph Curry. 4 years, $215 million.
That's a massive deal.
And it's still not enough for the best shooter in NBA history, probably.
Yep.
So I don't care how old he is at the end of it.
Yeah.
He's gonna make more than 215 threes in one season.
Yeah.
So that's
good for him. Good for Steph.
Andre Drummond now is on the Kansas City basketball team.
Yep.
But before that, he signed a 1 year cheap $2 million deal with the 76ers. Gary Trent Jr., I thought he was a smaller name. I'm happy for him.
Yep.
3 year, $54 million. It's expensive, but good for you, man.
Yep.
Trevor Ariza, we mentioned him. Blake Griffin signed back with the Nets for the mid-level exception.
Okay.
And we have 3 more very large deals. Norman Powell with the Blazers, 5 years, $90 million.
Yep. Would you rather have Norman Powell or Duncan Robinson? I don't know.
I think I'd rather have Norman Powell.
No.
I think Duncan Robinson is, all offense, while Norman Powell plays some D. Yeah. Trey Young, 5 years, $207 million.
That's a good deal.
That's insane. That's good money.
It's that rookie extension, the mega.
Yeah,
mega
the
max.
rookie max. And then Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, who they thought they might want to trade. They had rumors that they were going to trade him last week.
And they were like, just kidding.
Just kidding. We're going to give you 5 years, $172 million.
Nice.
And that's all the free agents. That's all the NBA talk. And that's probably all the NBA talk for a while.
Yeah, maybe some free agent stuff next week.
No. Yeah.
Hopefully, we're not here next week, but I'm hoping that the Glaziar Gambol podcast...
They'll probably talk about it if there is anything big. Right. Hopefully some Timberwolves stuff.
Yeah.
But they didn't do
Yeah.
Thank you for those of you that decided to watch this portion.
Like I said, we didn't know we were supposed to be here today.
We didn't realize we were coming back this week, so... yeah, we're here. We'll
get that contract signed. We'll get our bag. And then you'll see us...
we'll be prepared from now on.
Yeah.
We'll send it back to Michael, and we'll send it back to the Glaziar Gambol podcast.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you for watching. This has been the coverage by GGSN of the NBA Eastern Conference Expansion Draft. Good night, and good luck. All right, thanks to GGSN for covering our NBA discussions this week. It was enjoyable watching them. Because they did such a good job, I don't think we really need to talk about too much NBA, so we're just going to move right on into NFL news.
Yeah, the only thing is I'm happy that they watched the podcast.
I'm happy they watched it. That was very interesting. Yeah. Not many people watch it.
Yeah, I mean, you sent them you emailed them.
I did.
I don't even think they were so, not on their game. They didn't even say their names.
Yeah, there was a few things I accidentally put as attachments in the emails.
Oh. Accidentally?
I put down, oops, it was an accident. I didn't mean to attach those.
I think I saw an email. You had a winky face after that, though.
Yeah. So that might be why they didn't really get back to us. But I'm glad. I'm glad they did that for us.
Awesome.
But yeah, we'll jump right into NFL.
Okay.
One injury bug we got to see recently. Quentin Nelson, Ryan Kelly. Goodness. Quentin Nelson, Ryan Kelly, and Carson Wentz all got injured with the Colts. Quentin Nelson and Carson Wentz have the exact same foot injury and are getting the exact same surgery by the same doctor. So either something's wrong with the turf in Indianapolis that they're practicing on, or somebody's sabotaging the Colts.
Well, another thing is maybe they were so upset about their the Madden rating, like Wentz's Madden rating, that he just stomped his foot so hard, and then Quentin Nelson saw that he was so upset, so he did it too. So
I would imagine that would be enough force to break Carson's foot, but I wouldn't think that would hurt Quentin Nelson. But hey, that happens. Some other news: we had the Raiders, the Los Angeles Golden Knights Raiders of Anaheim. Mm-hmm. They signed Gerald McCoy.
Okay.
I thought that was cool. I thought he was a free agent. I'm surprised he wasn't signed. Just like if Richard Sherman didn't have his legal battles, I thought he would have been signed too by now.
One of the things with Gerald McCoy is whenever we went up against the Bucks, he would be just destroying us, but then he would get hurt throughout the game. Right. So it's probably just an injury thing with him. He can obviously be a very good player as long as he can stay healthy.
He's one of those guys that he's a veteran signing that you're not expecting him to play all 4 downs. He's probably only going to play 20 snaps a game, something like that, maybe less. But you're expecting him to be able to perform well during minimal snaps.
Right, make an impact.
They also brought in KJ Wright, but he left, so they did not sign KJ Wright. I honestly thought the Vikings were going to take him in for a workout. Apparently, there's a few other teams that took him in for a workout today. Or we're going to take him in for a workout. They did not announce the names of those teams. I'm sure we'll find those out. But I hope the Vikings are one of them because
he'll be on a roster somewhere.
After losing Eric Wilson, he would be to have Kendricks Barr and KJ Wright as your linebackers. That sounds a lot better than Kendrick Barr and Surratt or whoever.
It gives Chase Surratt some time to learn. I think Chase Surratt's going to be really, really good. He just needs
Chaz Surratt. That's
Chase.
what. But yeah, Zimmer's had a couple comments about Chaz not being where he needs to be right now. So I just thought KJ would be good. Anyway, yeah. KJ visited the Los Angeles Raiders of Anaheim, Los Angeles Golden Knights. Another thing that happened in the NFL, Dan Campbell says that he drinks 80 ounces of coffee with 4 shots of espresso every morning.
Yeah, so I'm not a big coffee drinker.
I am
myself. You are.
I am a large coffee drinker.
I do know what happens when you get too much coffee in your system. So it surprises me.
I'm surprised he has time to coach and he's not spending his entire afternoon on the
maybe
toilet.
Maybe he coaches from the
like a porta potty, like with the door open, yelling at people doing gassers, like, "Hey, I see you running! Yeah. Get out!" Like, you know,
he's doing a gasser.
Well, he's definitely doing some major. I tweeted out a picture of the most disgusting chocolate ice cream, and I can only imagine.
Chocolate ice cream is not disgusting.
In that image, that GIF, it was.
So you're telling them to look at the Glaziar Gambol Twitter page.
Look at the Glaziar Gambol Twitter page. Look at my Dan Campbell tweet. And I think that's what Dan Campbell experiences, because if he drinks 80 ounces of coffee every morning, I can only imagine he's drinking at least 100 ounces of coffee every day. There was an old Western act, John Wayne. John Wayne had bathroom issues late in his life because he ate too much red meat and drank too much coffee.
You know who else had a lot of bad bathroom issues towards the end of their life? Elvis.
Oh, that's true. He did.
Yeah.
Except I don't think John Wayne died in the bathroom. But he did have known bathroom issues during his last few films he did, because he had to regularly take bathroom breaks that took a long time. And I have a feeling Dan Campbell might have that on his way if he's going to continue drinking gallons of coffee.
Yeah.
Fun little fact here. We have one little. That's really it.
We have two little.
We have one little thing of. That was it for like NFL news. That's really all we had this week. All the rest of it's Vikings news, because that's what we pay attention to most. But we're going to cover that at the end as usual. One quick Madden note, really quick. The Texans have a 78 overall offense. You know, that doesn't seem very good. You know, the top teams tend to have 85, 83 offenses.
88 I've seen up to.
Yeah. So, and like the ridiculous teams like Kansas City sometimes is like way up there. The Minnesota Vikings have a 77. So according to Madden, Minnesota has a worse offense than the Texans.
When you look at the Vikings, you see, two 87 plus receivers, you see a 92 halfback, you see a 79 quarterback.
One of the highest rated backup running backs in the game.
Yeah. And you just...
An almost 80 overall tight end, plus a mid-70s tight end, and then not a very good O-line. But.
Yeah. So, you think Texans and, they must weigh a lot on the quarterback.
It must be a ton on the quarterback, because who's their halfback? I can't remember who the Texans' halfback is right now.
Lamar
Miller was.
I'm
pretty sure he's not.
Duke Johnson.
Okay.
David Johnson and Duke Johnson, right?
Okay, so that's not good. They lost Will Fuller, so I'm not sure who their top receivers are.
Kenny Stills.
So you're telling me Kenny Stills, David Johnson,
Laramie Tunsil.
Well, didn't they? Oh yeah. So, and then the rest of their O-line is one of the worst rated O-lines in the league.
Yeah.
And you're telling me that is better than Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen,
Irv Smith,
O'Neal, Tyler Conklin,
Dalvin
Cook, Alexander Madison, C.J. Ham.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just thought that was stupid. Yeah. And the Texans do not have a better offense than the Vikings.
When we get all the ratings, we're going to have a deep dive Madden thing.
Yeah.
Here.
I'll just have my red face the whole time from anger. So yeah. Anyway, just had that quick note. That was it for Madden. I know that is Madden's also not super popular with some of the people that watch. So we'll hit that quick. And now we're going to move on to Marvel. We have a lot more Marvel than I expected.
We always expect the least.
Get the most. Just like I tell my wife. Yeah, and so we're going to move on to Marvel now. Expect the least, get the most. And, where do you want to start with Marvel?
We're going to start with What If. That's where we're gonna start. That's the biggest topic we have for Marvel this week, and then we'll get into the kind of little.
Well, what if's exciting because we've even mentioned this in a previous episode. What If was not supposed to be canon,
right?
And that's why we said that potentially Miss Marvel or Hawkeye might overlap with What If because it's not canon, so people might not watch it.
Right.
Well, they announced that What If is not all of it, but there will be parts of What If that are canon.
And if you think about it, just stemming from Loki, if there are a million different branches and a million different timelines and a million different multiverses, all of these what if things could be happening in one of those off things. You can't say that they aren't.
Right.
So I know the big one that's kind of been the spit.
That's all right.
The big one is Captain Carter. That's the one that's rumored to be, in Doctor Strange or whatever.
In Doctor Strange, in 5 episodes of What If, and a potential spin-off, like bring her back for her own show, but done by Disney.
Right. She also was, possibly seen in the TVA in episode 1.
Yeah. She was in the background.
So wearing a very Peggy Carter outfit with the curly black hair.
Except she would be.
Brown hair.
It sounds like she would be coming in as Captain Carter.
Right.
And
so that's it. That's if in the What If series, it's if she took the serum.
So personally, I like Haley Atwell.
Yep.
Peggy Carter is a good character, and another
I like Peggy Carter more than I like Sharon Carter.
Same.
Yeah.
I think Peggy Carter is a good, because Disney and Marvel are heading towards, they want to have some strong female leads,
right.
Which we're going to get into that in a little bit with another character. Peggy Carter is a really good example of a strong female character that you could work with.
Would you rather see her? Would you rather see an alternate version of her take the Captain Britain role?
Yes.
Full on MCU canon.
Or
get the male counterpart in there. Because she did tease in Endgame, she teased that Agent Braddock hasn't reported yet. And during that timeline, it would have been Agent Braddock, his son would be, I believe, Brian Braddock.
Which would be Captain Britain.
So...
Well, I think I would prefer Peggy Carter. It's one of those times where a gender swap isn't that big of a change.
Sure.
And Sam is Captain America. So
yeah.
I don't really want 2 Captain Americas. I don't want, because if you have Peggy Carter as Captain America and Sam Wilson as Captain America, you either have to call him Captain Falcon.
Falcon.
Oh, right. You either have to call him Captain Falcon to make it different, so that you don't have 2 Captain Americas, or you have to specify, this is the female Captain America,
right.
And this is the male, and then that causes a whole issue, both with fans and as, a writing standpoint, so I'd rather have her be Captain Britain purely for the fact,
What if... No pun intended. So, they're rumored to have... Captain Carter in Multiverse of Madness.
Sure.
They were rumored back in the day to have Chris Evans was going to come back in a multiple role or something, possibly as Human Torch. Buzz Lightyear. Possibly as Human Torch, but also possibly as Captain Hydra.
Yeah.
So, what if you saw a Captain Carter who takes the serum for the United States, Britain, or whatever, goes up against Steve Rogers as Captain Hydra?
I mean, that would be kind of dark, but it would be cool. I know What If the comics were aired on either the very funny comical side or a really dark side, so it would make sense in terms of What If itself to do that. I'd be down. Honestly, I'd be down with most of the stuff.
Yeah, what if he goes to Doctor Strange goes to a branch timeline and he has to help Captain Carter take down Captain Hydra, which is Steve Rogers.
Yeah, I think that'd be cool. That'd be a fun, a cool twist on it. I think Chris Evans, the one that has been confirmed, is he's the voice of the zombie Captain America. I don't know if he's gonna be Captain Hydra.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought those rumors.
I would prefer. I want them to expand more on Hydra. They did. They hinted a lot at it during Falcon and Winter Soldier. WandaVision. They hinted a lot at Hydra stuff, so I want them to go back into Hydra. And Contessa,
Sure, yep.
she is Madam Hydra for a little bit.
For a little while, yeah.
So I think they should keep going into that. And I want Peggy Carter to be Captain Britain, or if you're going to make her Captain America and bring the other Captain Britain, the male counterpart, and have him be Captain Britain. You could do the tie all in with Red Guardian. They have like the Russian one, right, the British one, the right, American one.
Sure.
Then I guess that would make sense. But at that point, that's when I would want it to be canon in the MCU and not just What If. I'm interested to see what else from What If becomes canon.
I don't think we know what all 10 episodes are going to be. We got a decent amount,
and we know that they're gonna have to interchange because Peggy Carter's in 5 episodes, Black Panther's in 4 episodes, and if there's only 10 episodes, like there's 9 episodes there if they're all separate. So clearly they're gonna overlap, and I'm interested to see where it goes. Like if it's gonna be like split into 334 or 343, like a series of episodes. That's the way I'm thinking it's going to lean. I'm really interested to see Spider
Strange, Dr. Spider.
Right. Mystic Spider. I can't remember. I said it last week.
He gets the cape.
But yeah, where Spider-Man has Doctor Strange's cape and powers and stuff, and I want to see that. But What If? I'm really excited because now that that's canon, I do feel like I have to watch it.
Yeah,
so that's the downfall.
See some of these things in the future.
I will say there have been some complaints about What If. There's been complaints that they wanted something different than Peggy Carter. I think that's just people that, I don't know, they want to see their favorite comic book as opposed to just Peggy Carter. And I have no issues with that. I did see people complaining that it was canon because now they also feel like they have to watch it if they want to get the movies. I understand that, but,
I don't think they're all going to be
I don't think
canon.
They all will.
I mean, you could say that they're all canon and be like, oh, it happens in this random timeline or whatever.
But I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. Like, I don't think if you don't watch What If, it's not like you're going to be lost in the movies.
Yeah.
I think you might just not get this reference here. It's not going to be a reference in a movie that makes the whole story arc of the movie confusing.
Like
you might get a reference between, like, when Grandmaster comes back or something. Like, you get a random character have an interaction with one of the heroes that maybe it's a joke, maybe it's like it pieces together one piece of the puzzle. You're going to get something like that's going to be the biggest it'll get.
Yeah, like and if you do see Captain Carter in Doctor Strange, you're going to be like, "Oh, I saw that in What If."
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So,
I would say and Multiverse of Madness and No Way Home are both going to be huge in terms of what could be. Those are going to be where you're probably going to see What If stuff coming in.
Yeah, maybe Doctor Strange is in No Way Home. So
maybe Dr. Spider is in No Way Home or Spider Strange.
Yeah, like he gets the cape and I don't know.
Right.
Anything could happen.
So I thought that was cool. What If could be any of those. Very fun. And the fact that it's canon.
Some things. Take that with like a grain of salt.
Take that. Yeah, exactly. Thank you. That's a good way to put it. Take it with a grain of salt. And then still on the topic of What If. There will be 54 actors that have already been in the MCU reprising their roles. So, while it is going to be canon, that's one reason why it shouldn't have been too surprising. Like, it was surprising even to me, but it shouldn't be too surprising considering the amount of actors that are reprising their roles, and big-name actors like Tom Hiddleston, Chadwick Boseman, Haley Atwell, like, all these people are coming back. So, it's clearly supposed to be the same heroes, just animated.
Right.
It shouldn't be too surprising that they are back into it. I'm excited for the Ravager Black Panther.
Yeah.
The Ravager T'Challa.
T'Challa's Star-Lord.
And speaking of Ravagers, James Gunn said that he would love to do a Ravager spin-off show.
Sure. So I think we can take that, I think next week maybe, if there's not too much Marvel news, we could guess what those nine up-and-coming projects that they're working on.
I would love to go through that. I think so.
And Ravagers could be one of them. So.
Yondu is one of my favorite Marvel characters up there. Obviously, my favorites are like Venom, Iceman, Moon Knight. But I would say Yondu is up there.
Yeah.
And I really like... I'm forgetting his name again.
Michael Rooker.
Michael Rooker. I really like Michael Rooker's take on the character. I think he does really good, and he has a really close relationship with James Gunn, so it would obviously be him back as Yondu.
Right.
I'm all for
like to see the
Ravager
while like a Star-Lord while he's a kid.
I don't need to see Sylvester Stallone again.
Yeah. That whole Ravager group.
But you could bring Taserface back.
Yeah.
You could bring back some of the more popular ones, but
Miley Cyrus's head was
James Gunn's brother.
The guy who played Kraglin.
Yeah, so you could bring back some of the more popular Ravagers, and then you can also have new ones come in. I know Korath the Pursuer has connections to the Ravagers, so you could even bring Jimon Hansu into it. But yeah, I think that would be really fun. Also, Venom has been in everything in the comics.
Yeah.
Wouldn't mind to see Venom show up in things like a Ravager series.
Well, yeah.
So.
I mean, they're out in space. There's a planet, the planet where the symbiotes are from.
And that would be a symbiote that has not connected to or latched onto a host would be something the Ravagers would want to get.
Yeah, and I don't know. I think they're a far, far away from Null, but
Null would be so...
Yeah.
That was something that I suggested they might do on Twitter, and you definitely shot that down. I was like,
I don't know
you're
if they're
right.
gonna do it. Well, I mean, he's got links with Gore the God Butcher, and I just don't think they're going to make that connection.
When I saw Screech was in Venom,
I
knew they wouldn't do Null.
Yeah. Speaking of Venom...
Yeah, speaking of Venom, the Let There Be Carnage trailer 2 just came out. It's PG-13. But,
Sony doesn't have the kahunas to make it rated R. It should be rated R. Should it?
I mean, they should show him biting off a head and then be rated R.
Yeah.
But,
a symbiote gets attached to a serial killer.
And you're not going to make it rated R.
Yeah.
A serial killer that we just saw in the trailer, he bites Eddie Brock.
Which explains a lot. It explains how he gets the symbiote.
Right, because he tastes Eddie's blood and says that's not blood.
Yeah. So he got a portion of Venom in him, but the Venom, that symbiote, I don't know how they're going to explain it, but
I don't know how they're going to explain that it's not Venom.
Yeah, it doesn't have to make sense because you can't have two Venoms though. So I mean, that makes sense, and then it's just that symbiote.
Because it was such a small portion, maybe it mixes with...
It multiplies into...
and Woody Harrelson says, his character in the trailer says...
I've tasted blood.
Right, and I know, and that's not blood. And he also said, there's something I sensed in you that you're different like me. So maybe he has something unawakened in him that the symbiote awakens.
Right. Well, I mean, that is true. It could be the fact that Eddie is a perfect host for Venom, whereas Carnage, or Cletus Cassidy, would be a perfect host for Carnage.
I love that name. It just sounds... Cletus Cassidy is such a sick name.
Yeah. My favorite part was when, I believe they were in the church, but you saw... It's like Woody Harrelson, you saw it, it morphed into Carnage, and it was his body didn't exist. I don't know how to explain it. It overtook him. I don't know.
My favorite part was that the trailer made me laugh, and so that means that the movie's gonna make me laugh. But when
a buddy cop type thing,
there's the part when he becomes Carnage, and then Venom turns to try, he goes back into Eddie, and Eddie's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "That's a red one." As if a red one means it's more intense or scary, which maybe that means they'll talk about. Okay, because Screech is potentially in it, or is going to be in it. And Screech is yellow.
Screech is yellow. Riot was gray. Null
is black.
Yeah, Null is
like a true
god.
black.
I don't even know.
And then Anti-Venom is white.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Venoms.
Yeah,
there's a lot of symbiotes.
Flash Thompson.
Symbiotes.
Flash Thompson's in Spider-Man. He's Anti-Venom.
Right.
Or Agent Venom. So
it would be interesting if they talked about that and went more into the history of the symbiotes. I would love to have Venom and Eddie have a discussion.
Right.
Just basically exposition and narration for the fans to learn more about
where
this.
Venom came from and that he was an outcast.
And since we already know that he's a loser in his group, because he mentioned that in the first movie that he's a loser in his, just like Eddie. And
but Carnage also originates on Earth. So according to Spider-Verse canon or Sony canon.
Mm-hmm.
So he has no idea who Carnage was back home, but he knows that there's a red one back home that's terrifying. So.
Right. There's probably a red one that was ranked higher than Riot. in their judgment and in their ranking. So I'm really excited for that. I really hope they go into details. I would love to do like a deep dive on Venom in the future once it comes out. If they do go into that, I would love to cover like the top 10 most popular Venoms from the comics, because symbiotes, in my opinion, are sick. And like little like weird thing about me, like, you know how people like, if you could have a power, I think it'd be sick to have a symbiote. Like, I mean, yeah, it's like messed up, like, oh, you probably have to eat people, by the way, but it's like, but I mean,
send you to pedophile row or something.
You know? Like like having to eat bad guys. And like you just get used to it. Not only that, but like you're invincible basically as long as the symbiote's taken over.
Yeah, the fact that that Eddie Brock like Venom punches Eddie Brock in the face and he's like, let me fix that. He fixes his nose. He's like, so I can hit you again. And then,
so I think that'd be interesting. Obviously that would be crazy. It'd be like being somebody with like multiple personalities.
Yeah, they're making this whole thing about Venom versus Carnage, which I love, but I also want some explanation of Spider-Man, which we're supposed to get some reasoning in No Way Home. Like they're like, once you see No Way Home, it'll start to make sense. So Spider-Man, and then by the end of it, I want to see Toxin or like something teasing Toxin. Yeah, because if you're gonna keep Spider-Man out of the Venomverse or whatever, have Venom and Carnage team up to beat Toxin.
Right. I would prefer Spider-Man teams up with Venom to beat Carnage.
Yeah, Maximum Carnage, the most popular Carnage storyline.
Yeah. So I think that would be the best storyline that they could pursue with Carnage. I would also love to see Carnage teamed up with Venom against Toxin. I would like to see them expand. No, I would like to see them expand the Venomverse a lot, because they can do so much with it. Venom has taken over so many superheroes in the comics. He has to take over Spider-Man at some point because he does use spider powers in the trailer. So there's got to be something. And it would be cool to go through like the details of the symbiotes. Yeah. There was something else I was going to say, but I forgot it. But yeah, and so we mentioned it was PG-13. Speaking of PG-13 R-rated movies, last week we mentioned that there would never be a Disney. I didn't think there would ever be another or a rated R Disney Plus product or Disney product in the future. I was wrong again. This is like third time I've been wrong since since even like episodes of the podcast. So I'm pretty sure this is like the third major time I've been wrong. But James Gunn said that there will be R-rated projects coming out soon, and sooner than you think. And then Ryan Reynolds said that there's a 70% chance that Deadpool starts shooting
next year.
That's
a good percentage. I'll take those odds.
And then there's nine plus projects coming out. So one of those could be the R-rated Ravager series, could be Deadpool, could be just really anything. Otherwise, it could be one of the previous characters, like Punisher. Moon Knight could potentially be.
Moon Knight should be.
Or Werewolf by Night.
Yeah.
Which was hinted, or the rumor
been rumored lately.
Werewolf by Night is going to be a show. And that would be really cool. I'm not super familiar with Werewolf by Night, but I know he's part of the Midnight Suns.
Yeah, so that's Werewolf by Night's probably the one I know the least.
Yeah.
You know, Ghost Rider. We know. We've gotten 2 versions of Ghost Rider.
Yep. Which, the Robbie Reyes version, obviously nothing can top Nicolas Cage's should have won Emmy-winning performance of Ghost Rider 2.
Yeah. the Mephisto in that one, or someone in that one. I'd love to see Norman Reedus. Yep. It's been teased, some fan art.
Norman Reedus would be an amazing. I asked Boss Logic if he would do a mock-up of it, but somebody else did. So
yeah, and it looks good.
It does look. Yeah. It looked good.
Yeah, his hair's a little shorter, but
Norman Reedus, I've seen him with short hair and with his current long hair. He was in. Remember the old show Charmed with the 3 witches?
No.
But that was a popular show. Had like 8 seasons.
Yeah.
Norman Reedus was in that for an episode, and he had like short hair. He looked really good.
Yeah, at the start of Walking Dead, he had short hair as well.
Right.
So, Norman Reedus as whatever. John Bernthal as Punisher.
Yep.
Norman Reedus as Ghost Rider. Mahershala Ali as Blade. Oscar Isaac as Moon Knight. Werewolf by Night could be anybody because it's CGI. Doctor Strange.
If it's a full CGI character, you're gonna do the dude who plays Gollum.
Andy Serkis.
Yeah, and if you're a CGI character, just have it be Andy Serkis.
And then Elsa Bloodstone, which we haven't really...
I want it. Elsa Bloodstone is a cool character. I'm not a huge fan of characters in superhero movies that use guns primarily.
Yeah, but she's like a monster hunter.
Just like Blade.
Yeah.
And like Ghost Rider uses weapons, but his chain and he's fire and like he has more powers to him. But I would love to see an Elsa Bloodstone done right.
Yeah.
Like the lady from
her and Punisher teaming up would be a sight to see. Just them going.
Bryce Dallas Howard. That's something. Bryce Dallas Howard, I think, could do a good Elsa Bloodstone, except she's not. Bryce isn't British, but she's the girl from Jurassic World.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and I think it should be somebody who's like a natural redhead like that, or like can pull off the natural redhead look.
Yeah.
But if Elsa Bloodstone has red or blonde hair.
Yeah, it's like orange.
Yeah, and preferably British.
accent,
so maybe Lily James.
Yeah, somebody
Lily James
like I know Marvel's been trying to do a good job of like stereotyping what the character is to an actor.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about that later. I got a fan casting or a good casting choice.
But yeah, if they do Werewolves by Night, they might do Midnight Suns, which would be awesome, especially if that was one of the rated R projects.
If that's a rated R project,
which it should be, because Punisher is part of that.
Yep.
Ghost Rider, Elsa Bloodstone. Ghost Rider would be a better show as rated R, just because he's supposed to be a servant of Satan.
Yeah,
like he should.
Yeah, he gave up his soul.
Even if you're if you're a person that doesn't like rated R things, or maybe like you're really religious and don't like those sorts of things, then you can acknowledge the fact that Satan is bad, and should be like the most evil thing.
Right.
So Ghost Rider,
Marvel's Satan, Mephisto.
Right. And Ghost Rider should be rated R.
Yeah, and then you've got
Moon Knight.
There's a bunch of things like demon wise, like Blackout.
Blackout would be apparently in Midnight Suns. If it did, Blackout would be the primary villain.
Yeah, so you've got Mephisto down there. You've got the really bad Hulu project, Hellstrom.
Yeah, they would either redo that or
So you've got Daemon Hellstrom, and then you've got Satana, which are like
Satana's cool.
Yeah, they're both cool. Like they're both sweet looking. So you've got all these demons down there that could fit in any one of these projects.
I would love to see a Midnight Suns with Blackout, and that all be rated R. Yeah. Blackout is a half demon who can summon darkness and absorb light. So for those of you that have seen Harry Potter, like Dumbledore absorbs light with his little pen thing.
Right. Oh my god.
Goodness. Does he shoot it out after?
What are they doing in Hogwarts?
Man, that's supposed to be a kid's book. But yeah, and he can absorb or summon darkness. I think that's that sounds like somebody who would be pure evil. So should be rated R, would be better rated R. If James Gunn says rated R projects are coming out, plus you're seeing Werewolf by Night rumors and those sorts of things, I think that would be awesome. And that would finally be a good time for Mephisto.
Yeah, and one of these 9+ Disney Plus series could be Punisher. Like Punisher has proven it's a...
I can't wait. We're definitely gonna do that and go through the 9.
Okay.
Oh, I'm so excited.
The 9+.
9+. We can talk about as many, but I think those will all be good choices, and I hope they happen. And then continuing on the topic of like R-rated movies, we did mention Deadpool.
Yep.
Ryan Reynolds apparently he asked Disney if he could have Deadpool do a interrogation scene of the hunter who killed Bambi's mom.
Oh.
And Disney turned it down, but then because they turned it down, he just went into the details of what it was going to be. Apparently, he wanted to have himself like interrogating Bambi's mom's killer, and then it seems like he's angry, but then it's really Deadpool trying to harness the energy of being a hated character, because he wants to be as equally hated as and he calls him the most hated Disney character ever as the hunter who kills Bambi's mom, and instead flip it on him. Because of that, Disney said no, and instead they gave him the permission to do the Korg trailer for Free Guy.
Got it.
So instead he got that, but if we didn't get that, we were going to get Deadpool interrogating Bambi's mom. His mom's killer. Yeah. So I thought that would have been really fun and cool. Again, with R-rated topics, Christian Bale is Gore the God Butcher. That would have been another character that would have been a sick R rating.
But it is in a title called Thor: Love and Thunder, so I don't think you're gonna get.
And Taika Waititi's pretty like lighthearted and But yeah, we saw the first images of Gore the God Butcher.
He's in his white mocap suit or whatever.
Everything is
But
white.
it's gonna look sweet.
It looks so cool.
It's gonna look sweet.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. If you haven't seen those images, I don't know if I'm allowed to post those, so I will if I'm allowed, but if not, feel free to look them up. If you search Gore the God Butcher, Christian Bale, it'll be the first thing that shows up. Yeah, and then another potential Marvel product that another potential Marvel product coming out. Just a rumor.
Yeah. So, like I said, Marvel's trying to stick to stereotypes. Yep. So, like, if they need,
they're also hinting a lot at young Avengers.
Yeah. So, if they want to stick to a Jewish character, like I think Mark Spector is Jewish. Maybe, I don't know. Khonshu he worships, so it doesn't matter. Mark Spector, or like if they need a Jewish character, they get a Jewish actor. If they need a gay character, they get a gay actor.
And if they want to swap, like if the character is, say, white in the comics and they want to make it a black actor, they rewrite the character to enhance the character by who they chose as the actor.
Right.
Like Kang.
Right.
Kang is somebody that
Nick Fury.
They changed the character to better resemble who the actor is playing them. Yeah. So, yeah. Anyway, continue.
So, that being said, you said they're leaning towards Young Avengers. Well, Wiccan, Speed, they're coming, right?
Right. They've already tried a couple of them, like that Ghost show, the Light and Dark Hulu show.
Cloak and Dagger.
Cloak and Dagger, yeah.
Yeah. So, once again, Hulu, I don't think that's going to be...
Yeah, if anything, it'll be redone, or they won't mention it.
So, we've talked about Young Avengers. We got 1 million of them by now.
Yeah.
But Wiccan is a gay character. He's with Hulkling, who's a half Kree, half Skrull baby, person, whatever,
creation,
product.
Yeah.
I know you haven't seen High School Musical, the series, season 2 or season 1,
and I probably never will.
Okay, so that is something that me and my girlfriend watch. The male lead in that show is Joshua Bassett,
which I've heard of him.
Yes, and he came out recently, and he also stated that he loves Marvel. So if you know what he looks like or whatever, he would be a perfect fit for Wiccan.
And he's already working with Disney.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, I guess
that would be that's probably my go-to fan casting.
Let me look him up quick. Yeah, I'd be all for Joshua Bassett to play
Wiccan.
For Wiccan. I think that'd be good. I think he fits. He looks the part. Yeah, I'd be all for it. If somebody says they want to play a role, especially if they specify, right? Yeah. Simulu, especially like if they specify, like I want to play this character. Like he said, he likes Marvel, but if he specifically says like I would love to play Wiccan,
right.
Anytime you get a character or an actor that says that, I feel like you should always bring them in because they're already passionate. Like Elizabeth Olsen,
right? She
was passionate about Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, she was also passionate about Daenerys Targaryen, and that did not go well.
True, but she admitted herself that interview went that audition went terrible, and that it was like a panel of people watching her, and that she basically, as soon as she was done, just walked out. So, but you should. That's why I said you should at least bring them in.
Right.
You'll be able to tell if it's. But she read all the comics, and she just. I don't know. I think bring them in. So if he said Wiccan specifically, bring him in specifically for Wiccan. Otherwise, bring him in and just see if he would fit Wiccan, or maybe he would fit a different character better. But yeah, if they want to stick with like gay actor playing a gay character, then absolutely put him in there. Another potential young Avenger that we got our first images of recently was Miss Marvel.
Yeah.
Lots of talk about it because
controversy.
Yes, so she has the photon glove in her picture.
Yeah, it's like purple. I mean, it's energy.
Right.
It's like energy.
It's like a purplish similarity to what Captain Marvel's photon power looks like.
Or what photon power.
Or what photons, but photons are blue.
Yeah.
Captain Marvel's are like a bluish yellow white.
It's like yellow.
And now Miss Marvel's are like purple. Lots of issues because the rumor was that she wasn't going to have any powers at all, and they were going to be from these like gauntlets or like these photon gauntlets.
Like would you say like rings? Or would you say like the gauntlet would look similar to like a ring that gives you like enhanced abilities? I feel like they're doing something like that.
Yeah, maybe like 10 of those.
Yeah.
Maybe. That sounds kind of ridiculous. I don't think they would. But yeah, there was lots of controversy because people want her to have powers. So earlier I mentioned Peggy Carter, strong female character, strong lead. I had this take, and actually a recent tweet that got some traction of mine. People that I don't follow me were looking at it and liking it. Always exciting. I thought that taking her powers away and giving it to making the item have the powers takes away from her as being like a strong female character.
Right.
You're now taking this character that has powers and like emphasis and actual like say in like what feels like a strong character, and now you're saying like, oh well, if I took any character and gave them that photon gauntlet,
Right.
they're powerful. Like she doesn't feel powerful anymore.
Right, and I saw another thing is that she has a very similar skill set. Her not without the photon, the gauntlet things. She's a very similar skill set to Reed Richards or Mr. Fantastic,
which is your favorite hero.
Right, which I mean it's the same yet it's different.
Right, it's not the same. Like people say it's the same, but it's similar. You could say it's 90%, but it's not the same power.
It's not the same, and they're doing different things, right? Like Miss Marvel is an Inhuman, which another thing is she might not be an Inhuman in this series.
Which that would be very disappointing because this would be a perfect connection to the Inhumans. I want her to be an Inhuman with powers herself.
Right. Yeah. Like I'd love for them to explain Terrigen or like Terrigenesis. And if she's the first Inhuman you have, then it's like that opens up so many doors.
Opens it up and makes her a focal point.
Right.
And they don't really have a lot of Middle Eastern characters that are focal points, so I don't know if they have any really. So it would be awesome to have Miss Marvel be the first Inhuman, introduce Inhumans that opens up this whole new path, and she gets to be a focus and make her have those powers.
Yeah, and she'd be the face of your Inhumans.
Exactly. And you're having, what's the movie with Angelina Jolie coming out? Eternals, like that's another branch that's coming out. Like for example, Eternals is coming out. Whoever comes out of that is like the big takeaway from Eternals. They're gonna be your face of the Eternals,
right? Which is probably gonna be Gemma-chan or Gemma-chan,
right? Exactly. So, but like that's gonna be your face. So if you think about that, like Miss Marvel, this is your chance to make her the face of the Inhumans. So I really hope they don't take that away from her. I just thought about this. A perfect example of why it's not the same as Mr. Fantastic. When Mr. Fantastic tries, like if he were to try to embiggen,
right,
he would stretch out and still be thin.
Right.
But when she embiggens, she can get big and she still has her bulk.
Right.
So it's not the same.
Right.
Just I want to point that it's not the same. She doesn't.
They're both smart. Out. Reed Richards is probably the smartest person in the MCU. Maybe him and Shuri.
Right. Him, Shuri. Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
I would say Hulk and them, but they've already proven Shuri's smarter than them.
So, I mean, I hope that it is just an addition to her already power, like her stretching powers, and and they want to make her. They gave her the supposedly gave her the photon gauntlet so she can be as powerful as Captain Marvel and Photon.
Right.
To keep up in the same power level. And you don't need that.
You don't need it.
You don't need that.
There's nothing that it doesn't...
So what? She can't blast someone from 20 feet away.
Right. That's just like a cool factor that focus on the character's backstory. If you have the correct actor who does a good job, you don't need that stuff because people are going to love her anyway.
Right.
Yeah. So, again, like along the topic of Miss Marvel, there was another show when Miss Marvel was originally rumored. Another show started coming out with rumors there.
Moon Knight.
She-Hulk.
Moon
Knight.
Three were together.
But yeah, She-Hulk. And Jamila Jamil recently came out in an interview saying that they're having a ton of fun on set. She's supposed to be Titania.
Yeah, she said probably like a month ago, she showed a little bit, or like clips of like her workout that she had to do for it.
Right.
And she much like Brie Larson had to do for Captain Marvel, they got to bulk up a little bit.
Right.
They got to get in Marvel shape. So, no, I'm very excited. Out of those three, I'm probably most excited for She-Hulk.
For Moon Knight,
Moon Knight's up there too, but like
Miss Marvel.
Yeah, like She-Hulk, I
think if
don't know.
Moon Knight wasn't one of my I'm biased towards Moon Knight.
Right.
I think the implications of Moon Knight are the smallest. Like, I'm most excited for Moon Knight because he's one of my favorite characters, but Miss Marvel can take you into Inhumans.
Yeah, that corner of the Marvel universe with Moon Knight is not that extensive.
It's hasn't been that explored very much because people aren't as interested.
Right.
You get a lot of non-superhero movie fans in those movies.
Right.
And She-Hulk you could potentially explore. Planet Hulk, Hulkling,
right.
like,
yeah.
You can explore other things. Like Abomination is going to be in Shang-Chi.
Yeah, he's supposed to. Tim Roth is back as Abomination and She-Hulk. So
exactly. So like She-Hulk has a lot of implications. So I think I would also be more excited for the other two than Moon Knight. But personally, it's Moon Knight.
Okay. And then I would be super jacked for Miss Marvel if they didn't do the photon gauntlets. If it was straight and Inhuman Terrigenesis thing.
100%, I agree. And the photon gauntlets are maybe it'll be a mixture of the two.
Yeah.
But it's still not as good. We also mentioned we were talking about the smart superheroes. Shuri. There was a Black Panther rumor. You mentioned it to me. It was Riri Williams.
Yeah,
is potential.
Riri
I'm not sure.
Williams
Yeah, I know.
Riri
but I'm not sure who she's supposed to play.
Ironheart.
Ironheart. Sweet.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So I don't know if they want to make her Wakandan.
Another young Avenger.
Or I don't know if they want to make her Wakandan or if they just want to introduce her.
It'd be better if she was American.
I mean, Black Panther teased that they were going to make the American embassy or whatever, the Wakandan American embassy, and Shuri was supposed to run it, so Shuri could obviously run
and find a little girl to mentor.
Right.
So I would prefer it that way. It's better to stick with like you said, the stereotypes of the comic book characters. But if they make her Wakandan, it's not like that's a change that ruins the character. So I'm all for both. And there was one last little unrelated Marvel note, which is there was recently a discussion about Emma Frost in the comics about how she read Peter, because they were talking about No Way Home, and obviously that got into talking because it's like, oh, No Way Home, we haven't heard anything about it, what is going on?
Right.
But they talked about Emma Frost and how in one of the comics she read Peter Parker's mind, and reading his mind, she said it was so beautiful, it's like nothing she's ever seen before, and fell in love with him. There's another super smart character that impacted somebody who he impacted a psychic because of how smart and gifted he is. Emma Frost is another person. I hope that when they introduce mutants, I hope when they bring her in, they do her right. They've already done Emma Frost wrong twice. What? Do her right?
No, that wasn't Emma Frost. That was Emma Silverfox. The younger one was it Origins?
Yeah.
It was classified as Emma Silverfox, the girl's daughter that has the exact same powers as Emma Frost.
Right, turns herself to diamond.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, that's Emma Silverfox.
Okay, so they've done Emma Frost wrong once.
Yeah.
The actress who played Emma Frost did a great job, in my opinion.
You put her next to superstar Kevin Bacon.
You put her next to Kevin Bacon, and you kind of you over-sexualize the character, so she didn't really get to play the character to a good role in a poorly written movie.
No.
So,
actually, speaking of over-sexualization, my girlfriend was talking the other day about how she likes that Marvel is going into the direction of not over-sexualizing their
that was
female
the whole
characters.
Thing with Black
Widow. And I said, yeah, the only one they've really done that with is Black Widow, but at the time of Iron Man 2, she's supposed to play this young, attractive
she's supposed
secretary.
to seduce Tony Stark.
Yeah, so that's part of her characters. Now, are we going to get some random ass shots throughout?
We did through Black Widow constantly.
Absolutely. So
if they can't show skin, if that's the borderline, they're gonna show butt shots.
Yeah.
They're gonna wear tight clothes. It's still gonna be sexualized, just in a different way, and a less in your face way. I'm all for going away from the sexualization. If you want your characters to be sexualized, just read the comics.
Yeah.
Just I hope they do Emma Frost right this time around. Because I think the primary focus of the first Emma Frost was people wanted to do her
and
right.
she's one of the strongest mutants.
She should be.
So
she's supposed to be a stronger psychic than Professor X.
Yeah.
At least until he develops his powers, but at first. But yeah, that's it.
She's up there with Jean Grey, Magneto. Like,
should be. And with diamond skin that can make her impervious to like most abilities. Right. Pretty insane. And yet somehow the diamond can crack by metal, but yeah. And then so we're on the same topic. We're done with Marvel, but somebody who constantly works with Marvel, James Gunn, we've mentioned him. Going back to him, he apparently is going to be working with another DC film. For those of you who don't know, Suicide Squad comes out tonight at midnight for regular viewers. It's already out for like screeners and not, but
Suicide at a 95% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah,
last time I checked.
Way better rated and received than the first one because you have like good direction in that. And even though the original writer said that the movie that came out was not what he did,
vision,
but yeah, James Gunn is going back to DC and will be doing more DCEU products. So. They did what we've always said that they should hire us to create a universe.
Yeah.
They hired somebody who's going to show them how to create a universe.
Hopefully, I know that he right off the bat he was talking about doing a Peacemaker movie with John Cena, John Cena's character. So I'd like to see that.
A Peacemaker?
Yeah.
I don't really know too much about Peacemaker.
I don't either, but we're going to have to watch the Suicide Squad.
I mean, I'm going to watch the Suicide Squad. I mentioned it last episode. I liked the first one, so I'm going to probably love the second one.
Sure.
Sticking with DC, Joseph Gordon-Levitt did a recent interview talking about how would he potentially come back as Nightwing or Robin, because his character's name in Dark Knight series was Robin. And we don't find that out until like the end, which is such a good reveal. He said he doesn't know anything about anything like that. But I don't know. Do you have any examples of other actors that have said, "I don't know what you're talking about"?
So probably the one in most recent memory, the furthest memory, Haley Steinfeld said that she was not Kate Bishop. Like she's straight up on the red carpet. And she's like, I'm not Kate Bishop. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
She's Kate Bishop.
She's now. Yep.
What was next? Tatiana Maslany. Maslany? It's an S.
Probably Maz.
Okay, I'm going to say Tatiana Maslany. So, she said that she was not She-Hulk, and or the rumor came out that she was She-Hulk. She said she wasn't She-Hulk. Mark Ruffalo tweeted at her and was like, "Welcome to the family, because Mark Ruffalo and Jennifer Walters are cousins."
Yep.
And then, she just denied, and then Kevin Feige about 2 weeks later was like, She-Hulk featuring Tatiana Maslany.
Okay, so there's another example.
Yeah, and then Jonathan Majors between episode 4 and episode 5 of Loki said that he has no idea what you're talking about. Like he's not in the Loki series. Like he's in Ant-Man, Quantumania, and then he was in Loki finale. So.
And killed it and stole the show.
Stole the show.
So there's another
some
example.
Prime examples right there.
So then there's no way Joseph Gordon-Levitt would there's no way he ends up being Nightwing.
He could be. I mean, they've got a...
he would be perfect.
They've got a Titan series on HBO Max or whatever.
New season just coming out now.
Yep. And they have a Dick Grayson in there, so that's obviously not... Like, that's Nightwing, Dick Grayson Nightwing. But if this is Robin... I don't know.
I think Joseph Gordon-Levitt... So I'm a big Joseph Gordon-Levitt fan. Off-screen and on-screen, he's done some amazing interviews. He has an incredible website. He interacts with fans. And he's just, overall, such a good person. He has the body for it. He has the work ethic for it. He just has the look for it, and his acting skills are insane.
Right.
When you get that sort of incredible actor in a superhero movie that tends to have a lot of actors that are average, maybe slightly above average, it's very clear when you have an incredible actor in a superhero movie, and I feel like he would stand out. So if you want to put him in Pattinson's Batman as Nightwing, if you want James Gunn to put him in a new
they're
DC
doing
product.
the Flash movie that has Michael Keaton's Batman's in it, so they're exploring their
multiverse,
infinite worlds or whatever. So they could go into Christian Bale's
apparently the
Batman
Flash
trilogy.
is going to be darker than they've ever done. Ezra Miller said he's he had to do things for the role he's never had to do before, so should be interesting. If you want to do that, please pick Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
I still think we can make a pretty crazy DC universe.
I think we wouldn't be as successful as current directors because they would view it from a marketing standpoint, where we would view it as like pleasing the fans, sticking true to the comics, having good costumes,
continuity.
Like we would have a great if we were to do it, people would be like, "Oh, we should put that in book form." But I do think we'd be able to handle like a really good DCEU, and they would make 10 billion while we make 2 billion, like that sort of thing. I think we'd be able to do a great job. Similar to how I feel like we'd be able to run the Timberwolves very well.
Or so you're saying that all the Netflix reps that watch this should get us on the phone for a Pokemon, the Pokemon live action?
Please don't ruin it. Please. Oh God! I would do anything. I would
send us an email. We'll give you a script.
I would do voice acting for it. I would do writing for it. I will fly somewhere. I will run across the country if I have to. Oh man. That's it for superhero stuff. We have some Vikings news, but before we get to that, you know what? We'll do Vikings news and then we'll do the fun stuff last. How about that?
Sure.
So yeah, that'll be it for the Marvel stuff. We had a lot. We had some DC stuff. I thought that was fun. Really, really good topics. Now we'll jump to some local Vikings things, and then we're gonna finish with some fun information. So if you're not from Minnesota or don't care about local news, feel free to skip to the end and watch the fun stuff. Vikings. Daniil Hunter, recent to this week in an interview, said that Patrick Jones is better than he was as a rookie, or in a better place, like better prepared and that sort of thing. That should get people's ears perked because Daniil Hunter was an amazing rookie, sophomore, all the above. So, I don't see it personally.
I think Weatherly's getting first team reps right now, and DJ Wanham is playing very well. So,
and we talked during the draft, and I'm pretty sure when you asked me what I thought about that, I said I wasn't super excited.
Sure.
I think he's a good pick, but
he's one of those raw.
Yeah, like similar with Surratt. Like they're it's all up to Zimmer to make them as good as they can be. Right. But personally, from like what I saw on tape, he's not who I would have selected at that position. I'm totally fine to be wrong again.
We got the best D-line coach in football. Though,
right.
So
I'm totally fine to be wrong again. I've been wrong. I was wrong about AP, Kevin Love. I was wrong about plenty of prospects in the past. So if Jones wants to prove me wrong, please do. We talked about Bashad Breeland standing out in practice last week. Cam Dantzler had 2 picks in practice this week. It's just training camp. Obviously, it's nothing to be like super jacked about, but when one guy goes to all rookie first team and then has he's doing well in training camp, you would assume he's developing.
Yeah, hopefully he can get his hands on a couple more balls.
Yeah, he can be just like us. Little darker side of Vikings news. Jeff Gladney was cut because he was indicted on those charges. He's facing potential of 2 to 8 years, 2 to 10 years.
He cleared waivers too, so nobody else picked him up.
Yeah. His agent made a statement saying he's disappointed and had some passive aggressive things.
Yeah, disappointed in the Vikings because this is a normal thing that happens in a jury process, which is true, but it's also not a normal thing that happens.
Right.
So
and also. There are people that don't get indicted. They get charged and they're not indicted. That means a jury said there was enough evidence that he should be indicted and charged, just for some legal information there. But yeah, he was indicted because of that. That means that the jury thought there's a big enough potential that he is guilty. So the Vikings cut him just to not have to deal with that. No other team picked him up because they also don't want to deal with that. Obviously, I hope he didn't do it just because it's like the case is vicious. Yeah. Super vicious. So, but if he did do it, he faces up to 10 years in prison. So yeah, we'll see what happens there. I probably won't pay attention too much anymore because it's just, I don't want to give that sort of thing of attention.
He's not on our team. He's not someone we support.
Dalvin Cook. Another off-the-field information. Dalvin Cook graduated from FSU. He got his 4-year degree. So congratulations, Dalvin. You're probably not one of the people that watches this.
There was two other pros that also graduated. I don't remember their names, but
probably not Vikings, but
nope, we had other teams, but they're still in the league.
But there's 2 FSU congrats to Cook. It wasn't a culinary degree,
which
he is a
cooks
cook,
people,
but
chef.
He is Chef Dalvin, but he did get his degree, so I'm all for that. I'm all for people if they choose to do so.
His education going. Too.
Yeah. But yeah, super excited. Congratulations, Dalvin. Everybody on the Vikings has COVID.
Well, no, I was looking on Twitter during our break, and Basically, the tweet said Kirk Cousins is the only person in the NFL that has COVID.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's the information I didn't know. So.
But yeah, some people had COVID. Kirk was like a high risk.
Kellen Mond. Okay, so how it happened was Kellen Mond tested positive for COVID.
Even though he's vaccinated.
He's vaccinated, and Jake Browning is vaccinated. However, we have two other people in the quarterback room that are considered high-risk close contacts, which means they're not vaccinated. That's Nate Stanley and Kirk Cousins.
Yep.
So because Kellen Mond identified as positive, the close contacts had to be held out because they were also there. And Kellen Mond had to be held out, but since Jake Browning was vaccinated, he was good to go.
Right, and because he passed for negative, he had two negative tests 24 hours apart, which means he did not need to quarantine based off the new NFL rules. So we had Jake Browning. They picked up Case Cookus and Danny Etling as other quarterbacks because they had to do something. Yep, they couldn't have Browning do everything and have backup wide receivers and stuff playing quarterback. Chaz Surratt played quarterback in high school, so we
ran Wildcat for a little bit.
Yeah, but Browning actually had a couple good practices, so I think he might have solidified as
quarterback
a third string or a second string.
Too, yeah.
But you have to keep three quarterbacks then, because you can't put Mond on practice squad because he'll be taken.
Yeah, so
that does
like the quarterback 3.
But because Browning did so well, he's not going to go back to practice squad. So this will be the first time in a while that the Vikings, I think, because normally they're a 2-quarterback team. It's been Kirk and Mannion basically every year, and then Browning, Stanley, they've all been the practice squad. Yeah. I think they're going to run Kirk, Browning, and Mond. Yep. Stanley's probably gone.
Stanley will probably practice
They
squad.
cut Case Cookus already, and Danny Etling will probably be gone soon. Soon TM. And then the last little bit of Vikings news, KJ Osborne has been demolishing training camp.
Yep, he's been doing well.
He might be one of those guys that's just a practice guy because he also was doing... wasn't doing as well last year, but...
He had some injury problems last year.
Exactly. So. I projected him, my comp to him, I tweeted about this. My comp for him was Jarius Wright coming into the draft. Based on how he's been doing now, he might be better than Jay Wright, which would be awesome. That would mean he's like a top-tier wide receiver 3.
Yeah, he's probably the leader for wide receiver 3.
Exactly. And
I'm hearing nothing about BB.
No, we're BC. BC got injured.
Right.
And so now you're not going to hear anything. BB...
I'm hearing nothing about him.
He hasn't been working with special teams much. He's not doing well as the wide receiver 3. So, and we're hearing tons about Amir. Tons about KJ.
Yeah.
And we already have a new returner that we drafted.
Nwangwu.
Right. So we drafted him. We drafted Amir, who can return. KJ can return. So I think the wide receiver room is going to end up being Jefferson, Thielen, KJ, Amir, and then probably the undrafted rookie or
Wap Fillier.
Oh yeah, Wap Fillier. So that'll probably be our 5.
Yeah. They might keep 6.
And I think, if they keep 6, it'll probably be the other undrafted guy.
Blake Prohl.
Yeah. It'd probably be him, and then they'd probably cut BB in. And I mentioned that last week that I don't know if either of them...
will go on the injured reserve or whatever.
And I think BB's gone.
Yeah, I think they'll give him one more training camp.
But I think they'll test him out in special teams and stuff. But I think it's the other guy's position to lose. It's not his to win anymore.
Yeah, KJ's position to lose right now.
Exactly. So be ready to see a lot of KJ, be ready to see Amir, and be ready to see a couple of our late round undrafted guys because I think BB is done. But yeah, anyway, that's it. KJ, wide receiver 3, seems pretty locked in right now. We'll see how that goes in preseason. Other than that, that is it for Vikings news. And we just have the last little section here is some fun information. I'm very nerdy. I like a lot of nerdy things. Lord of the Rings was like a classic nerd topic.
Oh yeah.
And Amazon is coming out with a Lord of the Rings show. That's going to be coming out September 2nd of 2022.
It's like a prequel thing. So before
Sauron, right?
Lord
which is kind of weird because Sauron is supposed to have always kind of existed.
Yeah, and Gandalf is super old.
But yeah, but it's shot in New Zealand. They shot it the same way as the original series.
Looks a lot. That's just from the few pics and stuff I've seen. It looks a lot like Eternals. like how Eternals looks.
Yeah,
like giant
I get
big
what you mean.
landscapes, and
which is similar to like the
beautiful
original
landscape.
Lord of the
Yeah.
Rings, but shot in the same place. The reason it is delayed is because New Zealand has such strict COVID laws that, or had them for a while, but now they're one of like the least ones. But anyway, so yeah, that's coming out September 2nd, 2022. I have Prime. I borrow somebody else's.
I also borrow somebody else.
So I will be watching that. I also need to get caught. I need to watch The Boys.
Yeah, it's graphic.
And Invincible.
I actually watched 2 episodes of Invincible today. I
just have a hard time finding time.
I cleaned today, so I just put it on the background. But the fight scenes in Invincible are very graphic and brutal, but that's what actually would happen if
Exactly.
super people fought.
Exactly.
So
yeah, I want to see that. I want to see Lord of the Rings. I want to see all those. Seth MacFarlane, for creator of Family Guy, American Dad, The Orville. A lot of people know who he is. Very funny guy. He recently made a tweet requesting that Family Guy be changed from Fox to another network because there are specific people at Fox that he would like to make fun of. Tucker Carlson mainly. And right now he's really not allowed to. But yeah, he had a quick tweet requesting to
Disney
do that.
owns Fox.
Right. So, but however, Family Guy currently is one of the highest earning programs on Fox. So I don't know if that'll happen, but I thought that was interesting, especially as a big fan of Seth MacFarlane and his shows.
Sure.
Another Seth, you recently tweeted at Seth Rogen.
Yeah, and I think probably start tweeting at other people. It's not like they're going to see it or comment or do anything to it,
Right. Especially because your
It's
account's
fun.
private.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah. Well, I mean, the last time it wasn't private. Yeah, so I tweeted at him and I was like, would you ever consider playing Ben Grimm / The Thing for Marvel? You liked it, and that was about all the interaction it got. But, it feels good. I can, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I would be all for him playing Ben Grimm. I posted a picture. I replied with a picture as well of him. Somebody edited him as a bulky Seth Rogen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be all for it. I think that'd be a fun take on him and an interesting new voice. And Ben Grimm's supposed to be Jewish.
There you go.
And then sticking with Family Guy, those sorts of adult animation shows. South Park just signed a $900 million deal with Viacom CBS or whatever. And $900 million to keep making the show.
LeBron James money.
Yeah.
Some LeBron James Nike money.
And also a new 3D South Park game is in the works with an unknown publisher. Assuming that Trey Parker also gets the claims into that, why don't they just make that worth $100 million and get him to that cool $1 billion for 2021?
Exactly.
But yeah, and that's it. That's our fun news. We don't have any fun, interesting facts
Not this week.
today, but that's because we've talked for almost 2 hours and
We're not fun.
we're not fun. We're not that entertaining or interesting. And if we were, more people would have watched our last episode. But yeah, that's it. And
We gotta hit the milestone 13. 13 pods.
And we're almost to 20 subscribers. Even though we didn't get a ton of...
We gained one.
Yeah, we gained one.
Yeah,
and that's really... And we keep getting comments, so that's really all that matters. And I'm excited to keep this growing. Thank you all. Yeah, it's really cool to have you guys as fans and to have you all viewing. And please feel free to comment down below any of the comments you had, especially on the Marvel stuff, if you have any ideas for where that's going. I would love to hear people's opinions on what they think about Miss Marvel.
I want to hear what your thoughts are on the 9+ shows. What would you want to see?
Let us know, because we're gonna go into dive that deep into that. Let us know the shows that you might think would be on there. Also, if you're watching the show for the sports stuff, let us know what you think of some of the free agent signings that happened. I know there was a few that I thought were questionable, or maybe some free agents that are still out there that you are surprised aren't signed. Or just feel free to comment and let us know, hey, you guys are super hot. That's also fine.
That's gonna probably be us saying it to each other.
But if you're not going to comment, feel free to subscribe, follow on Twitter for updates of new episodes at Glaziar Gambol. getting a lot of gaming videos out now. I think there's six, and I have a few more scheduled. I did another one today. Still streaming every night from 7 to midnight Central U.S. time, twitch.tv/Glaziar, and that's mainly just League of Legends, Minecraft, and some other games that'll be coming out soon. I have somebody who's letting me use their capture card, so I'll be doing Nintendo Switch games. And that'll be like Pokemon, Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl will be happening. And, yeah, so Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and YouTube.
All the T's.
Yeah, and feel free to let us know. Check us out on Spotify. For those of you that are listening on Spotify, thank you. There's not as many of you, but you're still appreciated, and very happy to have another group. If you just want to watch audio and aren't as big of a fan of the video stuff, it is on Spotify as well as all other podcast networks, so feel free to check that out. Again, thank you. We wouldn't be able to do this without you, and we wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for you, because we do want that interaction, and we do enjoy discussing and talking with people. We've done a few other things, like on Bleacher Report, we've been more interactive, talking with people, more interactive on Twitter, and it's been very, very fun. The past couple streams have had some more commenters and talkers, so thank you so much. That's really it. You're really appreciated. We love you. And GG.
GG.
Bye.
Bye. What did I say all the time? Oh yeah, I'm not even getting so I just realized. Is he talking? Is he talking? Is he talking? You said this was going to be a long one. It's the first time I've ever heard that. You look like the, what's that one old time dude?
Groucho Marx?
I don't know. Who's that one old dude? This guy? I know his name if I heard it. Blackout.